Hey, we're Saints. Father Chris here. Welcome to our Crucifixion live stream. Glad to have you beautiful people in. Last week we were talking a lot about me and my black eye. It's getting better. It's actually mostly gone, isn't it? It's kind of mostly going away. But we did this thing and it's still going because I'm not telling anybody how I got the black eye. When I was on vacation in the beautiful Cayman Islands with my family, I got the black eye. And I didn't go tell nobody how I did it. I said, you know what though? Let's let everyone guess. And if you guess and guess correctly, we will give our Understanding the Bible series to you for free. Now, the guesses have not been right yet, although they have been ridiculously beautiful and hilarious. So far, one of the best ones was that it happened during an exorcism. I forgot who put that out there, but that the demon flew out and punched me in the eye. That is not how it happened. So, if you are still interested in guessing how I got the black eye 2 weeks ago, you may guess. Put it in the commentary. We will do our best to respond and watch all of them, and we will give to you Understanding the Bible. All right. Last week we talked about marriage and husbands and wives. Today, just for the one day, because tomorrow there will be a special guest presenter on the Way of the Warrior Saint, I want to talk today about how you measure yourself. And I'm going to be very brief because very often people, and I do it too sometimes, and in some sense we should, look to an ideal. We look ahead, right? I'm going to measure myself over what I want to be or whom I hope to become. What makes that a challenge and what makes that not the only way that you should measure yourself is that as you move towards an ideal, it also moves away. It's like it's never attainable. Does that make sense? As you're running towards the horizon, I want to reach the line at the edge, it moves away from you at the same speed as you move towards it. What I'm trying to say is that ideals are necessary. Absolutely. Goals for sure. But remember that when we measure ourselves solely based on an ideal, that which is unattainable, we can find ourselves kind of in a little bit of misery because I can't ever get there. And so I feel like a failure. It hit me, that idea, because I was thinking back about where I was 5 years ago and who I was 10 years ago and 15 and 20. And I realized that though today I'm certainly a sinful man, I'm a totally different person than I was 5 and 10 and 15 and 20 years ago, right? I have actually made in my life, by living crucifixionally, a lot of progress. And, I've done some good things. And as I started to think about that, I was like, oh, I'm excited about that. I don't feel quite as bad about not being where I'm supposed to when I look back and say where I was. Do you understand? And so I looked back, even particularly, I'm going to be specific for the last 5 years. I've done X, Y, and Z to go from 2020 to now 2025. I took these steps and look at the changes that have happened in my life. And then I started to think, what if I took X, Y, Z and pushed it forward? Where might I be in 2030 if I live that long, right? And so as I started to think like that, I realized measuring myself against where I was, where I've come from, is far better for the progress going forward than measuring myself against the lack of where I'm currently not, right? I have those goals and those ideals. I know where I'm going, but I'm not measuring myself against that, therefore not feeling somehow like failure. Now, again, I started the episode earlier by saying you got to have goals, you got to have visions. Absolutely, you have to have that ideal. It's there for a reason. But when you, warrior saints, measure yourself, look where you've come from, right? Look back to see what you have accomplished. You may feel far better having done so. Now, then you notice, what are the things I've done? What are the steps I've taken, the things that I've implemented? Can I take them and maybe even add to them and put them forward? Where will you be in the next 5 years? I promise you, if you start to measure yourself like this and think like this, you're going to find that you are far better people than you were yesterday. And it can also drive you to become far better people tomorrow. All right. Tomorrow, as I said, special guest star on the Way of the Warrior Saint live stream. We love you. Keep reading those Bibles, right? I want to make sure you read those Bibles. Check out all of the stuff we have to help you understand the Bible. And we'll be back tomorrow. Until then, as always, keep walking on the Way of the Warrior Saint.